last week on Gleeboot, Cullen did not think of this until he pushed the button. So he's thinking right now.
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, Lindsay Lohan. We did the Christmas special, Falling for Christmas with Lindsay Lohan and Court Overstreet Trouty Mouth. It was a delightful Christmas romp, unless you ask Allyssa. Then it was kind of subpar. But I had a great time. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Yeah, the episode before that for Glee,
The Rise and Fall of Sue Sylvester.
Yeah, an episode that we thought was cathartic, and then we were like, wait a second.
It was like cathartic, and then they're like, and that all this happened, and now we're going back to the same conflict we always do.
Yeah, and I gave that lecture about Ohio geography and gas prices in 2014, 2015. 2016, actually, I think it was. So yeah, that was quite an episode.
Gleeboot.
Welcome back to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk allegedly, talk about rebooting Glee one episode at a time. I'm Cullen.
Allyssa.
And I'm Hannah. Yeah, we have to say allegedly because we don't want to get sued by our listeners who are like, you're not drunk.
And today we have a very special guest, Gleek and friend of the family, Tricia.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hello.
Yay,
welcome.
thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
You're our Gleek of the week. Shout out to Gleek of the week.
What an honor.
Yeah, and I'm glad because we've had a lot of repeat guests. And there's a question I'm excited yet sad to ask for the last time.
Don't say that the last time.
What is your Glee journey?
Oh, man.
I started watching Glee probably like when it was on TV. Like I specifically remember like sitting in front of the TV and my mom recording it for like on our DVR for me to watch like when I was younger. But like I loved Glee. I watched it as a kid. I very much the start of my Glee journey was I watched it for the music. I was that person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good choice.
I think that's a sane choice, I think.
And it wasn't until because like I was probably too young to be watching Glee for sure. And it wasn't until I got older and was like, oh, this is the plot. Okay, I understand the plot now. But I do remember being like a sad little girl watching the quarterback episode and sitting in front of the sobbing. That was like a very like core memory of me for like Glee. But I was always a Glee stan. Well, I'll forever be a Glee stan.
Glee leaves its mark.
Oh yes.
Listen, I got emotional during this episode. Like, I love a reminiscing montage. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the context. My boyfriend can vouch. I literally went, oh no, a montage, and just sat there with my hands on my face. I didn't like cry, but like I definitely teared up. I was like, those always get me.
Yeah, it was.
Alyssa's like,
I mean, I had no like heartfelt emotions about this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I can also see that because it's not the same characters. But anyway, I still felt a little.
It definitely felt like go ahead.
Not even like a little nostalgia, like a little nostalgic.
Well, first, one of the things you should know about me is I absolutely hate the feeling of nostalgia.
Oh,
so when it happens, I don't like it. But I did not feel it from this. So
yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it didn't feel like a finale, but it definitely did feel like a penultimate episode, which is weird because I know there's like an epilogue. But like in the way it aired, the last two episodes aired on the same night. So this did like feel like, okay, like we're resolving everything. We're moving on. And it had a great set list, great performance. But Tricia, back to you. What Glee character are you? Who did BuzzFeed tell you are?
I redid it because trust me, I've done them.
I don't believe this answer.
Every single time I get the same character, I will forever be and always will be Santana. That's just, it's who I am. I know if you got to know me a bit more, everyone in my life will say, yeah, that's right. But yeah.
And who's your Glee boyfriend?
I got Finn, which I was a little surprised about. I've not taken that quiz, at least to my knowledge. I'm sure I did when I was younger, but like recently I've taken that quiz. I was expecting it to be Sam because Sam is probably one of my favorite guys, but
yeah.
yeah, but I got Finn. I'm not mad at it, but yeah.
Yeah, Finn Santana is an interesting pairing.
That's what I thought too. I was like, interesting, but okay, whatever.
They didn't really get along till it was teaming up against Brody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shout out to Brody. We
who you guys well, I actually also reminisced and saw him because I watched the episode and then I couldn't be on Glee Aggressive with you guys, but
yeah. We just recorded a Glee Aggressive episode on season 4, episode 3 makeover. Quality
Yesterday,
episode. Yeah.
Back-to-back Glee. It's been a full weekend.
I know. Rafa was like, "You're watching more Glee. What? What are you doing?" You started it again. I was like, "No."
Yeah. Wow. That episode where Blaine he joins all the clubs and
it's the birth of Blam.
Yeah, the
which
weird
we get a little bit in this
song
episode
that they sing during the debates or like preparing for the debates. And we're like,
love that song.
Make Me Over. That's okay. They worked backwards from that.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I got more nostalgia and feelings about that episode when I watched it because I'd already seen it.
Yeah.
And now going back with the perspective of season 6, it's way better than it was the first time.
I mean, I would tell you guys all the time, especially season 2 or 3, like, guys, like, you don't know how good you have it.
But you know what?
Always in hindsight.
Stubborn. So stubborn. I'm very stubborn.
What are we drinking today? I feel terrible. I feel like shit. I'm drinking some lukewarm tea in a gingerbread mug. He's making a return appearance.
No Piss of Lilith in there?
No. Well, there was earlier, but not this batch. And then I have some Thai iced tea because I got some Thai soup. I'm gonna steam myself out.
I love Thai iced tea. So good. I'm drinking water because I got really drunk last night. And I still want to add that. Yeah, it was our holiday work party, which I want to say, like, a lot of people don't do their work parties because they're, like, work parties are notorious for being bad.
Yeah.
But my company actually does really good work.
Yeah, they throw bangers.
Explicitly says no children.
And that was on the invitation, and it was an open bar. Ooh. So
might as well.
Yep. Completely paid for dinner and drinks, and it was a very nice evening.
That's awesome.
I made my way through the entire wine list.
Proud of you.
I love that.
I'm so proud of you. Icon.
After last week drinking an entire bottle of wine and then making it through the wet list.
Last week was 4 glasses. Last night was 6 glasses.
Wow. So proud of you.
Alyssa's gonna suddenly roll up in a minivan with like 2 8-year-olds and a shirt that says rosé all day.
And vanity plates that say Glee.
I did not like the rosé. They were it was no. Maybe Zinfandel.
Yeah, I'm not a rosé person. I have hot cocoa with Bailey's in a Chicago mug.
Chicago, where I'm from. Represent.
Yay. Yeah, it's one of those Starbucks, the fancy like You Were Here mugs. I love those designs. I'm a sucker. I still have to get an Indiana one, but
Indiana.
Yeah, I know. I live there, so.
Sorry, it's
no apologies. I transported here. Yeah, it's no offense taken. I haven't gained love for Indiana yet. No offense, Indiana. You're out there listening.
No offense, Indiana. Yeah. All I have my water, obviously, just because I'm not the biggest drinker.
Totally
alcohol wise, it has to be like juice. Like I cannot do the alcohol. So the wine that I have is black and blueberry. So it's very sweet.
That sounds good.
It is very good. It's by St. Julian's. I don't know if anyone's heard of that brand. But yeah, it's good. Would recommend.
Can I see the label? It sounds familiar.
Yes.
Oh, that's a cool label.
Yeah.
That's a cool label.
I judge my wine purely by labels.
If you like juice, you'll like that.
If you like juice, you'll like.
This is wine that is great for children.
So I have some tangentially related discussion topics that I have to throw out. So Spotify Wrapped happened.
Yes.
Thank you to all the Glee booties for listening, for downloading the episodes,
Yeah, those stats were kind of incredible.
Yeah, but also Glee cast was in my top 5. Because
Your
I don't
personal.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't listen to a lot of repeat songs by the same artist.
Right.
So it was like Taylor Swift, Carly Rae Jepsen, obviously. And then Glee cast, Kesha, Lady Gaga. But like I know my first song was Rain on Me.
Tell me you're gay
I'm
with the Glee podcast without telling me you're gay with the Glee podcast.
Exactly. And so artists will send you messages. Carly didn't. I'm like, excuse me, but like Taylor did, because I'm in the top 1% of Taylor Swift listeners. Yeah.
And you don't have an award?
She should mail me an award. So I got one from her, one from Kesha, one from Bastille, and Katy Perry had a very salty one that was like, seems like the oldies are still the goodies. You love listening to those. Like, not directed at me personally, but Katy Perry's entire fandom is like, Teenage Dream album was a peak.
It was a peacock.
And she's a little salty.
Your peacock.
Yeah.
I actually been listening to that a lot for some reason. It keeps coming up my shuffle.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what, Katie, you can cry in Orlando Bloom's arms. You voted for Rick Caruso, so
never forget.
Never forget. And you posted. She posted the ballot, which I thought was illegal. She like posted her cell phone.
I saw that. Like a selfie with her ballot.
Yeah,
but you can't do that.
Like, you didn't have to do that to yourself. Like, people knew Chris Pratt would. We knew Catherine McPhee and Gwyneth Paltrow. But you just, you did that.
You had to go and disappoint everybody.
Though, to be fair, my husband interned at City Hall and, hated everyone who was running. I was like, oh, who should I vote for? He's like, they actually all suck. I'm like, great.
He's like, here's the person who sucks the least.
He wouldn't even say that. He's like, they're all bad. Okay. But I actually couldn't vote I could vote in the primary, but because I moved to Alhambra, I couldn't vote for LA Mayor.
Oh.
The other one is work gave me free tickets to the Stranger Things interactive experience.
Ooh.
And it was like this cool little. I went to the Bridgerton one too. I talked about it here. And it's funny because I watched Bridgerton, but I like this one better. I've never watched Stranger Things. But you went through these little things, and there are monsters slamming on the windows, and they're like, use your mind powers to move the level, the button, and you all do a little pose. And it was corny, but it's fun, and there's 3D, and it was coming at you. And then afterwards, they take you to a mall, and we had free pizza and stuff, and it's this 80s mall. This girl comes up to me and she's dressed all 80s. She's like, so I had a party last night. I was like, oh my gosh, this is an actor. So I was like, yeah, I was there. She's like, yeah, someone broke my glass window in my living room and my parents won't let me go to prom until I find out. We all know I love a prom. I love a prom storyline. So I was like, I bet it was Josh. Is there a Josh here? She's like, okay, no, but there's this guy. And then I ended up talking with her cousin, who was a reporter. And because the window stuff was resolved while I was getting a drink, but I helped him with his crush on the ice cream place girl, and he helped him write a poem.
Well, she's a lesbian, isn't she?
This
in
one
the
was
actual
not.
Show. Okay.
They weren't characters from the show. They were their own original characters. Because I'm pretty sure this actor was gay, but I was helping him ask this girl out. We helped him write a poem, and then he gave her the poem, and he's like, it went really well. I'm like, well, what did she say? He's like, well, I didn't ask her. And we're like, go. So she said yes. So they're going to prom together. So
cute. Well, maybe he'll eventually find out that he's gay.
Maybe. Imagine the horror / entertainment of a Glee version of that. Someone gets slushied, a mashup happens.
God, I wish copyright and IP law wasn't a thing, because I would so make one of those. I would just post it somewhere.
It'd be so unhinged.
I would fuck off to Lima, Ohio, and I would just set up shop. That's
you
what I
would
would
just
do. I'd make so much fucking money.
a high school you could just rent out space at a high school.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh yeah.
And people our age would pay too much money to be there.
Yeah.
God, what am I doing with my life?
You need to call Ryan Murphy right now.
Ryan, listen. Your mom, I know she lives in Indy. I live in Indy. Let's hang out. I have an idea for you.
People would go to that though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just the amount.
We can get all of our Glee podcast people. They can play characters.
Yeah.
Because they got the lore. They got the lore up there.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be perfect actors.
Yeah. They'd be the class after the season 6 newbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would call Rachel Crack House Girl because I would never let that go. Okay. So let's talk about season 6, episode 11. We built this Glee Club.
And it's basically the season 6 stories finale.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Like, we're so close. It's crazy.
I'm even trying to think of where to start. So the storylines are basically like the competition episodes. So it's all kind of one storyline. Normally, we do have one subplot. I guess we'll start there. We have a Rachel subplot.
Yes. We should start there.
Yeah. Rachel is like trying to decide, do I go be in this original musical that sounds terrible about...
Sounds so terrible. We find out how terrible it sounds when someone else shows up.
Or does she go to Niata, run by Carmen Thibodeau, no longer played by Whoopi Goldberg? She's torn, and Sam is like, you have to go to college, you know, like all these people went to college. And then Rachel's like, all these other people dropped out of college. And he's like, these people dropped out of college and weren't famous. Kesha. And I'm like, excuse me, Kesha's still in my top 5 on Spotify.
Yeah, and she's still very much making music.
I think, was that during the stuff with Dr. Luke, though?
Was it that long ago?
Because Praying came out, we were in grad school, I think.
Oh my God, you might be right.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because I remember people were talking about something and I was like quoting those lyrics and people just thought I was being religious. And I was like, you're uncultured, but okay. And then, so she's like, so Sam walks off. He's very much playing the Finn in the dynamic that we're about to see. But this is the end of Sam Chul. This is the last Sam Chul scene. It ends as it began with a,
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't even realize that.
Like, did they cut? Maybe they just knew no one cared.
Well, I had, for the briefest moment, some, like, reservations about the other person who shows up later, and then they kiss, and I was like, wait, what about Sam? And then I was like,
you never broke up with him.
Wait,
but
what?
Were you together?
I don't think they were together, right? But they kind of were.
Maybe they had. Didn't they have sex while they? Yeah, while they did that felony.
They gave alcohol to minors. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just. Here's what we all know. What we're here to talk about.
The erotic Jonathan Groff is back. Oh, I screamed.
Okay, he looks like a billion years older, though.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen him since like the end of season 3.
Yeah. But
so like,
also,
I was like, if you look at me at 25 and me at 28, it does look like I've aged.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at myself in the Zoom camera. I've been playing with my eye because I'm noticing that I have wrinkles, and so I'm like, I have been neglecting my eye cream care, and I need to get back on it. Again, not even 30.
Yeah, and you age a lot in your late 20s, and it's not bad because people are supposed to age. That's natural.
That's true.
But you know, especially
he still looks great.
He still looks hot.
I screamed. I saw his name. I was looking away, taking notes. I look up and I just see guest starring Jonathan Groff. I went, ah! And then
she starts
singing, and I was like, oh yes, he's gonna be here.
He loves to come in mid-number.
Yes, and then harmonize. And there's a key change.
She's singing "Listen to Your Heart," and he comes in,
and he's like, "I'm your heart, and I'm here to listen. You're here to listen to me." I guess. Oh.
It was so good, and
it was very dramatic.
This was the first episode in a while.
It is Rachel and Jesse.
It is peak drama,
and also ridiculously. It's ridiculous set next to Sam and Rachel's scene just prior. Zero chemistry there. so much chemistry with Rachel and Jesse. And I'm just like,
which is so funny
yum.
because Jonathan is gay and Cord is
Yes.
like one of the hottest like straight
presumably
actors.
straight people. Yeah. No, for sure. And like, obviously it's because they have a long history together as friends and as, actors together. But I mean,
they just pick up right where they left off. We're
Yeah.
back at rolling in the
And
deep.
Yep.
Oh. Woo. Yeah, no, it gets so sad. It's like what were they called? Ram? Rachel and Sam. Ram was never gonna work.
Yeah. And so he comes in, they're doing we love an 80s power ballad. This is the first episode in a while where I'm like, what was my favorite song? Like there are options.
Yeah, there were a
like,
lot of good songs in this one.
Yeah. And they're singing at each other, singing their hearts out. And then he's like
making eyes.
And he's like, I heard you were cast in a musical across from a talented young actor. And she's like, oh, how did you hear that? He's like, because I'm the lead.
And he gives is this where he gives that breakdown of the horrible plot?
Yeah, he's like an Iraqi war vet who does graffiti.
And then it's the power of hip hop that helps him. And I'm like,
they were having fun with that. They knew that sounded bad.
Yeah, and I loved it. I was like, but imagine if that was a real show.
With Jonathan Groff and Leigh Michelle as the leads.
Anyway.
Tricia, how do you feel about Jonathan Groff?
Oh, I honestly, I don't know if he was an option on the Glee boyfriend test, but if he was, I'm livid that I did not get him.
Yeah, I
don't think he's an option, which is a total.
He was in the Glee Club.
He was, yeah.
He's at the top of the list.
Yeah, that's right.
Love Jonathan Groff.
Yeah, I just remember when Brittany was like, "Mr. Shu, is he your son?" And he like gave that look like, maybe.
Talking about nostalgia, I kind of want to go back and watch Jonathan Groff in season 1.
He does look way, way younger.
But also thinking about the scenes and like the storylines that they had, it was just like
this scene. This is the one that I was like feeling the emotions because it was 2 characters from the very beginning, and also 2 characters that I think are great together. Like they're meant for each other. They're both extremely dramatic. They have good chemistry, and they're both equally toxic. So
and that's the thing is like, obviously not the biggest Finchel fan, but like it's so clear that Rachel and Jesse belong together. Like it's so clear.
Well, it's the are you doing opposites attract or birds of a feather kind of deal? Like I think they both work, but Sam trying to be shoehorned into Finn just did not work. And the thing is, Sam's such a sweetheart. Rachel would destroy him.
Yeah, she would spit him out.
Yeah, whereas Jesse's gonna be like, excuse me? Like they would. Yeah.
They both have the teeth to break each other apart.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he's like, I told them that you needed to be the lead. I got he pulled some strings, and she's like, oh, that sounds so amazing to perform with you. But now suddenly she's on the Niata train.
Yeah.
That made no sense to me.
No. It was because this was all one scene. I'm like, this is actually a really long scene, like screenplay wise.
Yeah. Well, at the end of her interaction with Sam, it's like he says something specific to make her rethink what her original decision was, but I don't even remember what it was.
No,
and for me, it wasn't like a stark enough example of something that would actually change
it
Rachel's
doesn't stand
mind
out to me, so I don't know why it stood out to her.
Well, I know also with Jonathan returning, they asked Leah Michelle like, hey, like we're ending the show, right? And like the original ending obviously isn't happening with like you and Finn, so like who do you feel comfortable with Rachel ending up with?
I mean, this is an obvious choice.
I mean, wouldn't the more natural ending in that case for her to actually do the show?
I mean, I
see, here's the thing.
I can't explain. Yeah, you go.
I think Rachel is the type of person who wouldn't want to take a role if she didn't get it herself. So when she found out that he named her, that would have been the decision, like pointing her towards Niata.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, because I wrote that down. I was like, wait, so he got her the role. I was like, that's demeaning, because she could have gotten that role on her own for sure. But just because like her reputation was bad, she probably was like, they were like, I don't know, she seems kind of flaky kind of thing. So it's
because she's like, my mistake was leaving Niata to go play Funny Girl. He's like, no, that was an obvious choice. Your mistake was leaving to that dumb sitcom.
Which he was correct.
He's right. Yeah.
He's right. But then he's also like, yeah, I got you that role. And I'm like, I don't like that, Jesse.
The thing is, I think it makes more sense for Rachel to take the part. But I think Glee as a show couldn't end with her deciding not to go to college.
Really? You think so?
Yes, because parents and like the way people, you know, like
maybe. Well, at the end of
such a PSA
Glee,
kind of show,
it is very PSA. And if you think about their audience, the same time the show is ending, people are going to college.
Yeah. People are they're either going to college, or like the people who were watching the show when they're in high school are already in college, maybe thinking about dropping out because they're like, this is hard. This is
before
one
we
last
really
life lesson.
The
Glee, telling you to drop out of college.
This is before we really, as a society, like people have been talking about student loans for a while, but this is, at least in my mind, before it became like, I think it's a lot more front and center than it used to be. Like growing up, I was like, that's what you do. You go to college and then you get the scholarship, and then whatever you can't pay with the scholarship, you get the loan, and you know. Yeah. So Rachel is like, I don't know. And then after all the main plot goes down, well, in between, Kurt is like, hey, we had this discussion before, you know, like he's like, there's pros and cons to both. I want you to be happy, you know, which is honestly kind of a big growth moment for Kurt. Yeah. Because Kurt has always kind of dealt in absolutes and black and white. And it's kind of nice that he's like, hey, like, I'm your friend. We've been through a lot. Like, you know, do what you got to do. I mean, Jay Groff points out, he's like, Niata, Carmen Thibodeau says it's the best school. Carmen Thibodeau not played by Whoopi Goldberg. But, like, they rejected someone like me. You know, they kicked Blaine out, you know. But Blaine is going to go to NYU.
I'm happy that he's, you know, succeeding. Niata's decisions on who they let in and keep out are mysterious. Yeah. Very mysterious.
Sandra July.
Kate Hudson. I mean, Kurt's I'm Not the Boy Next Door audition. So good. How did he not get in? Rachel choked.
I know.
And then they stalked Carmen Thibodeau, no longer played by Whoopi Goldberg.
And then Rachel got in twice, like.
Yeah, she got in twice. You're right. She just like went to Carmen Thibodeau. Carmen Thibodeau like gave her a verbal lashing and then called her, was like, okay, you're back in.
It's like
you're absolutely right.
They never address the privilege of that. That Rachel, as like a white, thin, like ingenue type, you know, like upper middle class, like she is given more opportunities than like Kurt and Blaine, who are gay, or like Santana like went to extension classes, but that was never even, you know, like. It could be interesting if they at least made that a conversation on the show. But I mean, they're all minorities. They're in Glee Club.
Yep. They're all equal.
Yeah. Peak Obama era. Yeah. So after the competition, Rachel's sitting there and Jesse's like, hey. And she's like, hey, I turned down the part. I'm going back.
He's not just sitting there. He's got his arms across the seats. He is peacocking. And he's like smiling. He's like, yeah, that's right. I look good.
In an auditorium with no one in it. Facing a stage with no one on it.
Yep. And at a school that he went to for conservatively 3 weeks.
It's
just like, how long do you think he was sitting there before she walked in?
10 hours. He was there all day. Well, she'll be here eventually.
They do this, especially in later Glee, where like this would make more sense to say have this at Breadsticks, but they're like, we're wrapping up. We don't have to go like secure that part of the Paramount lot. got the
Yeah, exactly, 'cause-
auditorium.
In the shoe storyline, he like with all the stuff that happens, he goes to run after to find Sue. I was like, is he gonna run to Akron? No, he just runs to the teacher's house because Sue's there. It's like, oh, they couldn't afford the set this week. Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of scenes are giving video game NPC. Like, this is where I spawn to wait for you to come talk to me.
Yes.
Like, after you beat the sectionals level, like, Jesse spawns in the auditorium. Oh my gosh, Glee, the video game.
There probably is one.
There is a video game.
It was on Wii, and it was like a rock band. Like, you had to sing, and like you had to fall. I distinctly remember that.
Oh my god, I have a Wii. Guys.
But like, imagine like a story based. It's like story, but the challenges are performance. So instead of like fighting like villains, you have to like beat bullies with a mashup. Oh my gosh, that'd be such a cringy game. But
or like you have to like dodge the slushy.
Yeah. It's like the same like you're doing like a moonwalk to get away, or like a cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha slide.
I'm imagining like a text-based like romance.
Yeah,
game.
it definitely has dating elements.
Yeah.
And like your character unlocks songs, you know, and like certain characters are like more likely to get certain songs. You know, like Ryan
So
Murphy.
if you replay
itself.
Yes,
you coder.
You replay it, and you could do like a speed run, or you could go through only with one character and do all these specific songs, or only all these specific songs.
Like you want to, like this is the end up with Blaine track, you know, like this end up with Tina
speed
track.
Run 5 hours, 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 37 seconds. Dated Blaine.
Ryan Murphy, you need to call us.
Call us. Okay.
Rejuvenate the Glee brand.
Yeah, you want a Gleeboot? I'll give you a Gleeboot. Immersive Glee experience with
Glee video game.
Glee video game.
And a TV show reboot.
And
all interconnected.
We got it covered.
You know,
it's a multiverse.
If anyone could do that, it might be a Gleeboot. Like, to be honest.
Ryan Murphy, we're here.
Disney is trying to get Disney Plus back on the map. You know, it lost a bunch of money. But also Chapek was cooking the books, but...
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Disney Plus was not on the map for a while.
Well, it's like, it's losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's because there's only so many people in the world, and there's only so many subscriptions you can sell. So you're going to hit that block where it's like, oh, everyone already has Disney Plus. That's all the people. And then there's people who are sharing accounts. Well, how do we break them up? Well, we're going to see what Netflix does about that. We'll see how that works. And then we're going to do what they did.
Yeah.
Great.
That's exactly what's happening. And they're like, that's how we'll make back some of our money. But maybe we should stop funneling so much money into these giant projects to put on Disney Plus. And maybe we should advertise our movies properly so they don't flop.
Strange
yeah,
World.
that would be a good one.
I'm sorry. I don't remember ever seeing a trailer for that movie. Because if I had, I might have seen it.
Yeah, Alyssa,
I saw like 2.
Alyssa and
Really?
I didn't think I saw a trailer. I saw a billboard.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, Alyssa and I and our friend Derek from Previously Unheard Christmas, only people in the theater.
Yep, we went to go see it, and we had the theater to ourselves.
On opening weekend?
Yeah.
Oh,
Albeit
I didn't know that was opening weekend.
Yeah, that was opening weekend. And
Oh no.
I live, you know, again, I live in Alhambra, so a little, I just keep doxing myself, whatever. Like, but I live a little, like, I don't live in the core of Los Angeles, you know? It's not like we're at, like, the Sunset or, like, the Century City Mall. So maybe, but still, like, nobody.
So it's Los Angeles. Was it Thanksgiving weekend?
Friday night?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
when
weekend,
I
right?
saw the Emoji Movie in Michigan in the middle of nowhere, there were
I can't believe you just admitted that you saw the Emoji Movie.
I have a
in
YouTube
theater.
video about the Emoji Movie.
I know, but then you saw it in theaters.
I did. Shitty movie night. Katie and Buckles, friend of the pod. We got dressed up. We dressed
as emojis.
No, just like fancy. Like we're going to a premiere.
Oh, I love that.
And then we sat, and then
love that.
I was dry heaving during the climax because it was so cringe. And then when the credits went, my friend Buckles stood up and started slow clapping.
I love these people. I love them.
So, wait, for emojis. Rachel kisses Jesse. She's like, I'm going to Niata as much as I would love to share the stage every night with you, you know?
Yeah, because he's like, hey, you want to move in with me?
Yeah,
That
like, in an
was-
apartment.
Love that.
And then
He's
he
like,
said, no strings attached.
And I was
He
like,
said
okay.
flirtatiously.
Yeah,
Actually, he said that.
He said flirtatiously. I was like, I love you guys.
Yeah, because she's like, I take strings.
He's like, please tie me up.
So hot. So yeah, that's kind of where Rachel's headed. You know, Kurt and Blaine back to New York. Rachel's back to New York. And I guess Will's running the Glee Club.
He's being around children again.
Yeah, was he hired? Who's the principal?
Great question. Great question.
We keep saying these things, and
No.
Tricia keeps doing that. Who knows, Jester? Yeah. So
yeah, Rachel.
that's her storyline. That's Rachel's. Well, it's not like we're gonna get no Rachel in the epilogue, but
no. She will have a lot, probably.
That is her journey.
Her journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like that's it. Because like I will like quickly say like in the show circle.
Oh, she gives a speech. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before, so she gives a speech that's all about her until the very end.
Yep.
But then the show circle at the end, like after spoiler alert, they win.
She admits to being selfish. She admits to doing this selfishly.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, you guys, I'm leaving. And I'm thinking, Kitty is just literally proven right.
Yeah.
Again and again. And Kitty's not mad about it. She's like, it's so weird. But anyway, that's the only last thing I had to say.
I know. It's upsetting that Kitty doesn't get
logic
to.
Issue.
Yeah.
But...
because they put it in there. They didn't have to.
Yeah. Because Kitty was deeply upset. That's why she didn't want to join again. Because she was like, you're just gonna fuck off to New York the second you get a chance. And then she does.
Right?
Yeah, this is only sectionals.
So what part of the school year is this?
Who knows, but before Christmas.
Yes, it has to be fall.
Okay, before Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, sectionals is in the first semester, regionals is in spring, and then nationals is like a few weeks later.
Maybe Kitty just has like an early bout of senioritis and is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. She's finally realized that once you graduate from high school, there's no going back. It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
except for if you're
this show. There's a lot of going back.
Yeah, but she's above that. Like she's not coming back.
But
yeah.
Anyway.
So where are we? Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the main storyline. They're all practicing with their like too many cooks in the kitchen with all those coaches.
Yeah, too many cooks. Too many cooks.
Shout out to that video.
Shout out to that video. An old video also.
Yeah.
I am 100 years old in internet years.
I am 16. I'm a grandmother.
Exactly.
So they are practicing and then they're like, okay, take 5. And the warblers, whatever the fuck their names are like, we vocal adrenaline isn't taking 5. I saw Sue making them run on hot coals. You know?
And then Sue goes, if Oprah can do it, so can you. And then I suddenly, for some reason, remember the video of Oprah running across coals. I don't know why.
Core memory unlocked.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So the little warblers are all like, hey, we need to like practice more. And they're like, we need to lose the dead weight. Because Jane is like, no way you're putting only 3 girls in the back.
Yeah, because the assumption is that the warblers should be in the front because they're the most polished.
Yeah.
Glad that Jane said that. She's like,
No, because they're like, we're not going to do this with rudimentary moves. I'm like, have you seen the clubs that have won on the show? But Madison is like, I love that move. And then...
yeah, because Will...
Yeah,
he's like, mother, may I point to you is a move. And I'm like... You could have come up with better names.
Those are definitely not the actual names, right?
No,
because they suck. They're really bad, and it was funny to watch.
I only did folk dancing, so
it makes me think that Zach Woodley, the choreographer, was like, these season 6 kids are so rudimentary. I need to come up with very simple names. And then Matthew Morrison's like, oh, I'm going to use that because again, it's only 10. The script is 10 pages. It's just a treatment, and they have to come up with their own lines.
I mean, Madison, original Broadway cast of Dear Evan Hansen. I'm sure she can dance.
Yeah, they're mostly just talking about Spencer, which glad they point out eventually that he's not the best singer or dancer, because he's really not.
Yeah.
He's just a token white male.
When they say dead weight, they Spencer assumes it means Roderick.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought you guys were friends.
But
nobody corrects him either.
Well, because he's like, some people gain weigh a little more than others. He's like trying to be a good friend, which, you know what? I could believe a high schooler not thinking that through.
Sure.
And being like, yeah, I'm such a good friend, while calling someone dead weight. But then they're like, no, we also mean you. You dance
you suck.
Yeah, you dance like someone in an injury who shit himself or whatever,
Yeah, someone who has a back injury, or someone in a back brace, a blind man in a back brace who hasn't shit in a week or something like that. And I was like, okay, that's really funny.
It made me think of a TikTok I saw today where this woman was like, if someone says happy holidays to me, I will shit right where I stand. Merry Christmas.
The war on Christmas, it begins.
Yeah, just ask Tim Allen. So they're doing so they have this discussion, and this is Will, Rachel, Blaine, they just let them go at it.
Yeah, Lyle's in the kitchen making dinner. He's like, wow, these kids are really mean to each other. I was like, Lyle, you've seen this show before. You know that. This is just a new set of children.
Kitty's go in the back. And then here's the thing, the kids shouldn't have to make that decision. This isn't a democracy. No. It's not a club.
No. Honestly, as I was watching this scene, I was like, yeah, and in high school, you have a bunch of different types of people in a club. You have some people who are more talented than others, and they are always in the front because that's just how it is.
That's how you do it. But they shouldn't have to have that discussion. Will should just
it should just already be a thing.
Yeah, he doesn't make it personal, and you can find those people's other abilities, feature them in a small way, so that everyone has at least something to ground them. Because I worked with high schoolers, doing putting musicals and stuff, and there are different levels of talent, and you have to everyone has to feel respected and part of the team, but also there's the reality that some people are more talented than others, and so you work around it in a way so everyone can do something and feel good about themselves. And not
because if you don't, you're gonna have a second Glee club in your same school called the Treble Tones.
Mm-hmm. Well, and because that's the point of doing this kind of stuff. You're not professionals, you're children, so you're doing this for the educational benefits. Even though that's they have to save the arts or whatever.
The personality building, you know, getting discipline, all that stuff. Yeah.
But, Roderick is just randomly dropping things and trying to say he's clumsy. He can't even...
That was so weird. He opens his locker and his stuff falls out. And I was like, I remember that happening and being mad that I put it in, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I was bad at Tetris that day, locker Tetris.
His line was, if I can't stop tripping over myself, how am I going to do? And I was like, wait, your stuff fell out of your locker.
This is where I was like, God damn, they really phoned it in on the writing today.
Yeah.
Because they're on the Lions, we're just gonna, say whatever comes to mind, guys, and action. And that's what happened. And they're like, that's great. That's a good cut. We're done.
They were on set, and Roderick was like, well, the person who plays Roderick was like, I'm not tripping. Someone forgot the mat to catch me. I'm not going to trip. And someone forgot the mat. So that's what they came up with.
Jumble the stuff in your locker, and then when you open, it's going to fall out. Perfect. Action. Yep. You're right.
So it's a Spencer Roderick mini storyline, which would have been really sweet if we had spent more than one garbage episode developing their friendship.
This is how I feel about the montage at the end. This is how I feel about the entire episode. I would feel more if I cared at all about these children.
Because their performance, no spoilers, is good. It's really good.
It is good.
No notes, honestly.
I fully think that this is the best performance we've seen the New Directions do, which is
Ever?
I mean, yeah.
All generations of the New Directions?
Uh-huh.
Nude erections?
Wow. See,
just objectively.
We're going to talk about that during the Gleekies.
yeah,
That's for sure.
To me,
Okay, but I hadn't watched it yet.
I know, but I'm
I
saying
know.
during the Gleekies, we're going to have to talk about it.
because to me this doesn't beat Paradise by the Dashboard Lights.
See, I didn't like that one.
See, because that one also
I don't think you liked it either, Alyssa.
No,
I think
you
it
did.
was like, nah.
But like that one had a lot of
Cullen's like, you didn't.
you didn't, I know. But
Not
like
uncultured. Uncultured.
But there was a lot of emotional catharsis because it was their like last time like really performing together.
Right.
And so I mean, I don't know about technically, but I know emotionally that one hit a little more.
Right.
Wait, Paradise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think this one also does too. Because there are some states of like, this could be our last time performing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the song list, it's
it was
good, great voices. My one note though was, where's the Jane feature?
I said the same thing. I was like, oh wow, they're really not giving Jane anything. Cool. Love that.
Yeah.
They did
Well, what they gave her was Rod Remington sexualizing a child, and she is that child. So
yeah, that was horrifying. So we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I know. So much to talk about.
Spencer and Roderick are like, we need someone to coach us. Mr. Shu will be too nice. We need Kitty. And then it cuts to Mr. Shu's there helping them dance with Kitty.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then Kitty is like, I'll do it with you. Spencer injures himself.
Oh, there's a crack.
Yeah.
And I was like, that man broke his ankle. That grown man, that 25-year-old model. Oh, yeah, he broke something because there's a crack. When you get a sprain, does it crack?
Maybe it was a hairline fracture.
Is that not a broken
They said what it was.
Did they?
Yeah,
I think they said it was a sprain. But there was a crack. I was like, that man...
They should have just said it was a fracture.
Yeah. Well, they were like, that's too much for someone that we want to go on stage later. This episode is so weird.
So Beast and Sam are like, yeah, that injury really sucks. Like, unless you have a cortisone shot, you can't go on. And Spencer's like, well, I have to. And Beast is like, look at my knees. Like, look what that did to them. And then Sam says it looks like a C-section.
A botched C-section, a jacked up C-section. I was like, I have a question.
How does a knee look like?
Why does he know what a C-section looks like? It could be a harmless thing, like maybe his mom had one, but also he is the man teaching health class. So I just need the answer. Yes, Tricia, he is teaching health class.
I did not realize he was teaching health class.
It was a throwaway line that I will never forget. Because he has no qualifications, no college degree, and he's a himbo. And not that himbos can't be, teaching health class, but and those himbos have qualifications and this one does not. So
yeah, I don't think you should be teaching. I think he could be like, wear a condom, this is how to put it on, and that's like the extent of his knowledge.
He would be the opposite of the gym teacher in Mean Girls. He would be like, here are some condoms, wear it and things will be okay. Also, explore other birth control options. Just be safe out there, kids. Good game. Perfect.
And then name some birth control that is like a myth.
Yeah. And then
here's how you cure blue waffle.
And then he sings that song Gwyneth Paltrow sang to give them sex ed. Touch.
Oh, that came on my shuffle and I listened to it 10 times. I was like, this song slaps. Do you want to touch?
Yeah, so he's injured. Meanwhile, they're practicing. Will walks by Sam drinking from the drinking fountain. And then he walks in. There's a lot of shots of Sam drinking from the drinking fountain in this show. Because I remember Karofsky checking out his ass when he was drinking from the drinking fountain.
Oh.
Yeah. And this, I know
it's just thirsty.
It's a thirst.
Speaking of.
He's got to wet those trouty mouth lips. So so Will comes in and they're like, we all got random boxes, and they're just gonna open them.
They're from GLAAD, apparently. I'm assuming GLAAD. Right? Is it 2 A's or 2? Yeah, 2 A's. And they're like, oh, it's for us bringing in that trans choir. And I'm like, okay, that's some interesting logic. And then like, so they're literally bombs. Okay. There
Glitter
are
bombs.
bombs that go, no, they're list of literal bombs that go off in a school. There's no shutdown. They're not evacuating anyone. It's just like, oh, what was that noise? Well, I guess we're going to still mix some chemicals and chemistry. Like, and they had a fake active shooter.
My grandma, Stella's grandma, used to send glitter bombs, not in this way, but in like, she would put a bunch of confetti and glitter in like your birthday card and it would open, it would like go everywhere.
Yeah, but does it actually explode?
No. Did the piano
like-
explode and break in two?
Mhm.
It's
That's
not
dangerous.
insured. We just learned that piano is
Yeah.
not insured.
Blaine's like, no, it's not insured. And then everyone starts vomiting because she put eye drops in the water supply.
Yeah, Lyle's cooking. He's like, that could kill someone. I was like,
Eye
it's Sue
drops.
Sylvester. Do you think she cares?
Eye drops are poisonous?
Yes.
I did not know
It's
this.
not just saline solution. It's like there's like a chemical in it. It could give you diarrhea and like vomiting if you accidentally ingest too much of it, you could die.
Yeah, because Will steps in Sam throwing up.
Yeah.
Well, no. Shu steps out and then Sam vomits all over his feet.
Yeah.
That's the order. I was like, what?
Very.
This is where I literally got whiplash. I was like, what is going on? There's like a bomb sequence. And then he's in the hallway getting thrown up on.
Then
He's
runs
running to Akron to go get Sue, but actually she's in the
teacher's
teacher's
lounge.
lounge.
Wild.
She's sniggering behind this plant. And I was like, I loved this. I loved all of this. This was hilarious. But
Well,
I was just like, I
he's
have a
like-
neck injury.
He's like, aren't you not allowed to be on property? She's like, no, that's later.
Yeah, I think Sheldon says that.
Yeah, but then Sue is like, yeah, I did this. It makes me think of season 2 of American Vandal, where they do the brownout, where like the crime that they're trying to solve is someone put something in the lemonade that makes everyone shit themselves.
It might have been eye drops.
Yeah. So Sue is like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna ruin you. And then she's in the locker room, like watching a video of Nazis.
Okay, well, you got to go back because here's what happens. After this,
she like,
she
Will's
goes to
car
her
is on
salon.
fire.
She lights the minivan on fire. We found out it was just for fun, which I loved. He has vanity plates that say Glee. So I'm just gonna say it. His car deserved to be blown up.
Yeah.
And then he's like watching this, and then we literally just cut to
Sue at the
the
hair
salon. And there's this person in this brown wig. She sits down. She's like, oh, Estelle or Eileen or whatever. She's like, I need my Carol Brady blowout before I go and destroy the Glee Club. And then it pans up and it's Shu in drag. And Lyle had a great point. He's like, well, what happened to the hairdresser? And it's like, oh, she's just in a broom closet naked because he stole her wig and her clothes.
And he puts duct tape on her mouth.
Yeah. And we're in a salon where there are other people. Like,
Yeah.
and he straps her down. Like she's a psych patient in like a mental institution in the 60s.
Do you think everyone at that salon hated her so much? They're like, sure.
They're like, oh, we'll help you.
Yeah.
There might not have been anyone else there.
I think we see them in the
I think
background.
We do.
Oh, really? There are people?
Or
I'm not
maybe
focused on that.
that's like, it's part of the spiel. It's part of the shtick at the hair salon. You get strapped down. People who have kinks.
I see if I ran a business that Sue Sylvester frequented regularly, I would probably hate her. She probably would have screamed at someone.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
And she probably doesn't tip very well.
No.
Or at all.
So he shaves her head, so then she's bald.
She's in a bald cap. Literally the actor in a bald cap. She looks great.
She
literally
looks like
watching
Tilda
Nazi
Swinton in is it Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, as the ancient one. Yeah. Literally Nazi propaganda. So that's where we go from. We go from glitter bombs to glitter bomb in the piano to being vomited on, to finding Sue in the teacher's lounge, to finding out his car has been lit on fire, to him dressed in drag, strapping her down and shaving off her head, to Sue being bald with vocal adrenaline in the William McKinley High School boys' locker room, watching Nazi propaganda videos. I have a neck injury. Ryan Murphy, I'm suing you.
It's truly.
That is literally how it goes. That's the sequence. And I was like, I love this. What is happening?
It's a season of like plots jammed into 3 minutes.
I love it.
Gosh.
Yeah, whiplash. And so Beast comes in and is like, you know what? Me and Will stood by you when no one else would. And this is how you repay. You go into my locker room with the Glee Club that vandalized my car.
Mm-hmm. Hate
And
crime.
And you're watching
Informative
Nazi
hate crime.
propaganda. You know, she's like, get the fuck out, basically. She's like,
And not just watching the propaganda, it's like she's watching it as like
a positive.
As like you know, like in sports, like they watch videos of other teams and like break down plays and stuff. It's like she's literally like not what'd she say? Not a goose step out of, or not out of one goose, something like that. She's literally like critiquing or like pointing out something about this march that they're watching, and I'm like, white supremacist.
We got a Kanye
She's
West
a
on our
skinhead,
hands.
quite literally.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Beast, I was like, Beast sort of just, I feel like if Beast punched Sue, they're not gonna do that, but Sue would crumble. Like just Sue's a one punch wonder, you know, like Beast just and Sue would be gone because you know what, Sue deserves it at this point. Just her crimes in this episode alone, let alone everything she's done up until this point, you know.
Yeah.
And so Beast is tough, you know, because they stood by Sue, who did not deserve it. And this is how she's repaying them. And she has we'll get to her logic, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think this was all genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Will believes it either.
No, that's why he doesn't end up apologizing to her, even though like he very well could have after she walks away.
That's happening, and it's time for the big
it's just sectionals, right?
It's sectionals, yeah. I need to look up Donna Landry's. Was she the state paid skeptic in the first one?
I know she's been in at least one other, but she's the assistant vice comptroller.
Donna Landry's appears as a judge in the 2009 Western Ohio Sectionals Championship. In Sectionals, the 13th episode of season 1, along with Candace Dystra and Rod Remington, she reappears as a judge of the 2014 Western Ohio Sectional Championship, and We Built This Glee Club.
Yeah. So she was in, I think you're right, the first one.
Yeah. So she's back, and she hates Glee clubs.
Yes. Rod Remington is there. Again, so gross. And then there's technically it was the dog
Trixie
that was invited, who apparently is a male and is racist.
Yes.
Which we find out after. And then Fortune Feemster plays the handler. Butch Melman is their name. And that made me laugh really hard for some reason. I was like, Butch Melman, what a name.
So yeah, it's time. The Falconers go first.
We have actual falcons.
Donna Landry's take on them is so funny. She's like,
is this a
public school? Is this where my tax money is going to? I was like, you're right, Donna. You're so right.
I was living for her reaction shots during every single performance.
Absolutely.
It started off like she was just shaking her head in shame, and then it just like progressively got worse. She hated everything more than the last.
She's like, I'm not running for vice comptroller again. This is my last year.
So they sing Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. Never heard of either.
You've never heard the song?
You've never heard that?
I don't think so, no.
That's interesting. I have. It's a pretty popular 80s song. What was the theme of the sectionals this year?
They don't have them anymore.
No theme.
Really? Oh, wow.
Well, okay. I feel like Glee is really starting to, they do so many 80s numbers, they're really scraping the bottom of the 80s barrel.
Hardly. There's so much more they could do, and I will prove it to you in my Glee pitch.
Okay, but what I will say is they've done some really good 80s bangers, and then there's a lot, especially this season, that are just like, that was like all you could afford, and you just threw that in there and had Clint sing it. Yeah.
It was the ones that they still had, they'd already paid for the rights, and they're like, we just need to get these out. We need to get our money's worth.
Because we open, or so after them, it's Vocal Adrenaline.
Yeah.
They're doing We Built This City.
So shiny shirts,
Yeah.
nipples, shiny nipples, Quinn's nipples right through the shirt. I kept saying, I wrote "oh nipples."
What I'm gonna say is the Muppets on this song. It was in the Muppet one with Amy Adams and Jason Segel, and honestly, that's the only time I've liked it.
Wow. Okay, I actually didn't mind this. I actually kind of liked both of their numbers.
I think
I do not agree with Donna Landry's take on Mickey. She's like, "Who wants to listen to that song?" I was like, "Excuse me."
Am I actually insane? I thought they already did "Hey Mickey."
No, but I did
you would
too.
think.
I heard it and was like, they did this, but I think it's because they did Whip It and Rock Lobster.
No, I swear to God, they already did "Hey Mickey," and I would have sworn that it was also at a sectionals or a performance, a competition.
Yeah, because I know this is the one time they do it, but you hear it and you're like, they did this, right?
Yeah. I would picture the Cheerios doing it because that's the motif that they use in the performance, but also it's in the music video, the original music video.
And I always think of the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend spoof, the makeover, yeah. Where she goes insane during the song, yeah. But yeah, they're doing it is heartless, no soul, just some 35-year-olds in some silvery nipple shirts.
Yes.
And then so they're doing the thing where they rip costumes to reveal.
I loved it though. I loved that. I was like, oh, okay, fine.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Appropriate.
They rip off black slacks to reveal blue track pants.
Yeah. Yes.
Which
I believe it. Yeah.
No. I don't believe it because slacks.
I'm suspending my disbelief.
I know. Well, I'm here to unsuspend.
You're here to be me.
I'm here to be you. This is my thing. This is my Ohio geography. So slacks fit tight. Not always. They're not skin tight, but they fit tighter. Right. Whereas track pants are inherently loose. Yeah. Right. You often wear them over shorts or something. Especially that kind of has the buttons. So if you were wearing baggy track pants under slacks, you would look like you were wearing a diaper. It would bunch. It wouldn't look good. Could you wear tearaway slacks or tearaway suit over slacks?
Track suits, yes.
Yeah, and that would make sense. It'd be oh yeah, but
the opposite. Yeah, it is weird. It is because
I'm those actors weren't performing in the costume. They did they shot We Built This City, and then they put on the tearaway pants, and then
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a cut, which that's unfortunate.
But she shoots people out of a cannon.
Yes, I saw the roller of the cannons. I was like, human cannon! I can't wait to tell Anne
they did
it was on the episode. I'll tell her that they finally did it. You know what? Maybe I'll find a clip and send it to her and be like, Sue Sylvester fucking did it. She shot people out of a cannon. It took her and no one died.
4 more seasons. Yeah, no one died.
Yeah.
And they do it, and then that's their performance, and Sue's like, ha ha ha.
Okay. Tricia, what did you think about this performance of Vocal Adrenaline?
Here's my issue with it. They sing "We Built This City." The title of the episode is called "We Built This Glee Club." So why is New Directions not singing "We Built This City"?
Snaps.
That makes absolutely zero sense to me whatsoever.
Absolutely. You're 1,000% correct.
And as soon as they started singing, I was like, because thinking back, when I used to watch it, I was like, I swear New Directions sang that because that was the name of the episode. That would make sense. But that's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
Other than that, at Vocal Adrenaline performances, they are always over the top. They're always like that. But out of all of them, this one is one of my least favorites. Nothing will compare to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Exactly.
I agree.
So and it can't be compared really. It's just because that's top, and then everything else below it is just
apples and oranges.
Yeah.
No, that's an amazing point. I'm so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot that too. But I agree, it's not as good as, honestly. Also, before J. Groff got there, they did
Rehab.
Excellent, and they're not even performing. It's just here's how great they are.
That is my favorite vocal adrenaline song, and it's not even
their very first
it's the first performance of
Vocal
Glee. Just the show. It's
Oh, does it come? I think it. Don't they sing their audition songs first?
Yes.
But I think that's
like group performance.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the very
Rockin'
first one.
the Boat?
Oh, is it
Come
before or after
on.
Rocking the Boat?
It's after, for sure.
Yeah.
Because Rockin' the Boat is definitely like, but that
I
doesn't
don't
really count. Yeah,
The
you're right.
pilot, as we talked about in that episode 2,000 years ago, is so different in tone and style because there's really like Rachel kind of sings On My Own, but we only get a couple seconds of it. The only song that is there for performance is Don't Stop Believin'.
Yes, the very end. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's their performance. And now, meanwhile, Spencer is like, I'm going to get the shot. And Roderick's like, no, I have an idea. Sure. Why not?
I could never have guessed the idea that comes to
True.
fruition.
True.
Never could have guessed it. And I was like, I love it.
Can you imagine, like,
setting that up in 10 seconds?
yes, 10,
Also,
yeah.
like 4 or 5 episodes ago, maybe, I don't even know how many it was, they had that kid drop down from the pod thing.
Yeah, and he
but
got
they
stuck.
were gonna literally get him to climb up a rope to help get the thing down, and it's just like, just the liability insurance for this school must be so expensive.
Except they don't have insurance. That piano wasn't insured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably a different policy, but still, I mean, yeah, these kids get injured and there's no more school.
The first performance is Roderick singing Take Me to Church.
Amen.
I was like, Alyssa has been waiting for this moment.
I screamed.
Yes.
Because Alyssa's always like, they never do songs for like some of my favorite artists like Hozier, and like they don't have this kind of blues thing.
I remember, and then you said, oh, they do Hozier, and I wasn't expecting literally the last
the last performance
in the last 1% of the TV show.
And it was so good. Like,
it was good, except they kept skipping parts of the song. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Well, and then Kitty is doing the backup. I'm like, you should have had Jane.
Yep.
Also, Kitty wouldn't like this song.
No.
Or did she have a whole arc that we don't know where she lost her religion over like a grilled cheese sandwich?
Wait,
not getting to play the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, wasn't it in the Christmas episode?
She learned she said she didn't have the spirit of the Virgin Mary in her heart, but then she did. But then that story, the episode is not canon. Suki.
Don't eat the plant.
Yes. Look.
Should I also show my cat?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would show my
We're all showing cats.
We're showing cats.
Yeah, my cat, he's from... Oh my goodness, so pretty.
You're sleeping.
So, let me pull up this photo. So I took a picture of my cat. Let me see if I can get it
You
to
have the
blur, if it's gonna work. Oh, it doesn't work. Damn. Oh well. But yeah, so he has a new bow tie because we wanted like a Christmassy one, but I couldn't find one. And so he just looks like Blaine.
They do Take Me to Church. They have the Things Rise or whatever. We see the whole chorus. And then they do Sia's Chandelier with lots of effects. Lots of like slow down.
It was
effects.
weird. I didn't like that.
What just let them dance?
The heck was the little man doing? Because I forgot his name.
Myron.
Myron.
He's reenacting the music video.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I figured it was probably something like that, but having no context was a little strange.
Yeah, he's often in Sia's videos.
Yeah, in that movie
Dance
that Sia
Moms,
made, that everyone was like, wow, this is really like
offensive to enable us.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then all of a sudden he's very quickly back in his uniform.
Yeah. I mean, you could easily put a uniform over that. It's just a bodysuit.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It'd be sweaty, but
or was the uniform underneath the bodysuit? Glee logic.
Donna Landry's is not having it. She does not like it.
She's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then so Madison is doing the main solo. Kitty has another little solo. Yeah, Madison has a great voice.
Yeah, she's like really good. And I'm like, why haven't we featured her a little more? Why haven't we featured other women besides Kitty? Kitty had a whole season by herself. These other women deserve some spotlight.
So then Then it's time for Come Sail Away. Great number. Like Madison gets a Mason and Madison, but then I'm like, now you need to hand them off to Jane. But then it's Kitty and Spencer.
But here's the
Our
thing.
problematic blondes.
If you want them to be siblings, stop putting sexual tension in there. I'm sorry. They're like looking at each other, and I'm like, if I'm someone in the audience and I don't know they're siblings, like, oh, that's cute. They're dating. They're twins.
Let me look up if these actors have siblings.
Like IRL?
Yeah.
Oh, right. To try to reenact like what it is to have a sibling, like how you look at them.
Yeah.
That makes
sense. Remember the iconically incesty Folgers commercial?
Yeah. Oh, and it's Christmas and we get to watch it. I'm so excited. Yeah. You're my present this year.
She's
Big
not,
brother.
She's not big enough for me to easily access her life story.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. So
but
yeah,
anyway,
it's a great number. Again, could have used a Jane feature, but here we are.
Yeah, because what's her name? Madison? Morgan?
Madison. That's right.
Madison. She had a solo. Jane has not had a solo. Jane is a fantastic performer. Put her, the guy that she might be dating, question mark, or they had pizza, you know, or they had breadsticks or whatever it was. Like,
yeah, and maybe give one of the warblers a little solo.
Yeah. I don't know.
But overall, great performance. Yeah. Great finale. And then it's time for the judges.
There's three different songs. Wait, what was the last one? I completely...
Come Sail Away was the last one.
Oh, right. Okay.
The second one was Chandelier.
Which is a great Glee Club song.
Wait, did we talk about Spencer swinging in on a chandelier? Did we talk about that?
No, Spencer...
Chandelier.
That's why I was like, wait.
Yeah, how could we forget literally the joke that I couldn't see coming? Because how could I? You know, but there are definitely the big chandelier props, and he swings in on one of them. And he swings back out, and then all of a sudden he's back on the ground. Don't know how.
In crutches.
He's on crutches. And he's dancing, and he's doing it. The judges are deliberating.
Donna hated everything. She's
taking the lead on this one, and thank goodness, because these other two people are insane.
Because Rod is like, I know the New Directions had a lady power, and
one of them, she
makes me want a hot cup of cocoa.
And then Donna, who is a black woman, is like, excuse me, what did you just fucking say to me?
What did you just say to me?
How do you expect me to react to that? Like,
yeah. He clearly is like, oh yeah, I'm definitely speaking her language. I'm definitely commenting or complimenting the entire sect of black women, of course.
They're like, no, thank you. We don't want you.
Jane is a child. She's like 16, 17 years old.
Yep.
That man is 800.
Yeah.
It was gross.
And then the poodle isn't racist, but he sees in black and white and has trouble discerning darker features.
Which
doesn't make
it's racist.
It's all dogs.
Dogs see in red green, I thought. Well, I guess
they're colorblind, so maybe the writers just didn't know what they were talking about. But at the same time, they have noses. That's not their main sense.
Yeah, dogs might be the least racist of us all.
Yeah.
The Chiron thing that comes up literally says racist dog.
Yeah.
So it's like, you tell me he's racist, and then
I mean, I think we're supposed to determine that the dog is actually racist.
Yeah.
It was just very confusing.
Yeah. I was like, why is this a joke?
So the judges, this is one last, we're going to have a bunch of zany people, but sometimes the judge rooms
so boring. Where's Lindsay Lohan and Perez Hilton?
Yeah, sometimes remember when Sue sided with the Glee Club? Sometimes there's a reason for the scene. But this was we're gonna do one last of these. Here's a racist dog.
Here's Rod Remington, because we know everyone loves him, and I'm like,
and then the competition is sponsored by Waffles.
Yeah, by something Waffle House or Waffle.
Yeah,
it's a great place to spend your Sunday. And like
Kitty
other
goes,
people
"I love
are
waffles."
like, what is going on? I love waffles.
That was
Just so
really funny.
quietly. And I was like, I loved this. Becca Tobin has never been better.
This
I
season
think that
did
was
really
my favorite line of the entire thing.
Yeah, this season
The
oddly
entire
made me
Yes.
Just whispering, I love waffles.
this season made me respect Becca Tobin more.
Becca
Not like-
Tobin's triceps are on fire
Not
in
like-
this episode too. I saw those.
Not like I ever like was a hater or like didn't respect her.
Yeah,
I
no.
should clarify. I mean, I hated Kitty, but like that was how she was written. That wasn't Becca.
Yeah.
But like this really showed her range this season,
Yes.
oddly enough. You know, and her comedic timing, because like I
Yes.
Love Waffles was like funnier than sometimes when she just go on like some racist tirade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
as funny as the whole Left Behind sequence,
Yeah,
but very funny. I love that.
you do.
I love that. It's funny.
Poor
Good
Dottie.
friend.
Yeah.
Where
So
is
that-
she? Where's Dottie Cacciatore? What's she doing these days? She graduate? Maybe.
Who knows?
Anyway.
So the New Directions win. Sue is upset. Will has finally beaten her. They're all happy. They all have
This
their
is like the one competition where I feel like they deserved to win. All the other ones, I'm like,
I agree. I
that
agree.
just seems like, you know, for the TV show. But this one, I think that they did the best. So
I agree. Yeah, because I remember like when they did the Michael Jackson.
I love the
medley.
Michael one.
I know you did, but I was like, I don't know. I feel like the Treble Tones should have won.
When it comes down to the performances, I'm usually the one that's like, yeah, that was good. And you guys are like,
Yeah. But no, like it was a really good performance.
So they won sectionals. Will is like, there are our other coaches are onto bigger and better things. I suddenly work here and I'm your coach.
Yeah, and he's like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Will. He just goes around and introduces himself to all the new kids.
And they do a toast. We get some Sam
my
does
God.
a toast to them. We get some
I
bland
totally-
content.
I totally forgot. When Kurt is talking to Rachel, and he's like, you know, they're talking about how great it has been to be in this Glee club, you know, and to be teaching. And he goes, we're making such a huge impact on these kids' lives. I was like, this is your third week actually interacting with them. How dare you say that you're making an impact
Yeah.
on their lives? Anyway, that was the other thing.
Yeah. She also says she found a good skin match for Spencer. And I'm like, white?
Yeah, white out. Good for you, big white out. I use it too, right here, all over my face.
Contouring.
Contouring. Yes. Yep. I use like an orange highlighter as my
Yeah.
contour.
I saw one that was like, this is my favorite brand, Sherwin Williams. Got a roll. So they give their little toast. Rachel's like, I did this selfishly, but you got my groove back. Bye. Good
Yeah,
luck.
you helped me get my groove back. And it's like, come on. You couldn't like make this about them, the
Yeah.
children who you're supposedly making a big impact on. Because imagine being Roderick and you go home to your parents like, how was school today, honey? Oh, it was cool. That girl who paid for our Glee club to get started back up. Yeah, she's going back to New York. Really? She just started. Yeah, she's gonna go back to college. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, what else happened? Yeah, she gave a speech about how we helped her get her groove back, and you know, we helped her reach her dreams. Oh, well, what about your dreams? Those don't matter. I don't matter at all. That's what he's learning.
Yeah. And so they put the trophy in, and Kitty sees Rachel being sad. Instead of being like, yeah, you better be sad, you're abandoning us. She's like, let's put the other trophies.
Why would they take those trophies out? Wouldn't you
Yeah.
showcase your
That's what I
history of
do.
trophies?
all the trophies
Legacy.
live in the same place.
Legacy.
Yeah.
It was a great scene though, where like you see all the trophies that they've gotten over the years.
Yeah,
Is
they
it,
go
was
and
this
grab
the
them.
montage scene that
Yeah.
you were like,
Yeah.
And
okay,
it
yeah.
ends with Finn
This
and
is-
Rachel when they put the Nationals trophy in.
And so here's the thing. I got emotional because it was like, oh my God, yeah, they've won all these trophies and it's nice. But the emotional payoff would have been way better if more of those original kids were actually in that scene. Like
Yeah.
helping put the trophies back. It's like we're passing on the next generation. Like this is our legacy.
Well-
but it's just like I don't know.
At one point, Rachel says,
Also, we haven't seen those people in so long.
Yeah. Rachel's like, we couldn't be happier to pass the baton onto you guys. And it's like, yeah, fuck Marley.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Fuck Jake and Marley. And...
it's
the
so
missing
annoying.
generation.
Yeah, they're in the Hurt Locker. Well, no, the Hurt Locker was
so
wasn't
those
it
bodies
raided?
are somewhere else. Yeah.
She hid the bodies.
Yeah.
She burned them in acid. Some lie.
Yeah, it's true.
When writing the note, fuck Marley, I guess, I burned myself with the tea I was holding. And I have like a legit scar on my stomach.
Oh no! I hate when that happens. I've also
Yeah.
set like hot coffee there. I'm just
Yeah.
like lounging. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, fuck. Yeah, so here, but I think I finished typing fuck Marley before.
Priorities.
Priorities.
You're like, I'm currently burning myself. I have a 2nd-degree burn right now. But fuck Marley is a more important thing to write. Yeah, no, that is kind of wild that like they're saying, oh, you're the next generation. It's like, no, like you skipped over a whole group of people that we knew for 2 seasons. I knew you for 10 episodes. Not even really. So it's like it's frustrating. It's so frustrating because this could have had a lot better payoff if we had stuck with these kids 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame, I think, is what I really should say. Is
Yeah.
like, I can't be mad. It's just like the planning just couldn't happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah, they tanked so bad with the Marleys and Jakes and everyone that they just wrote them off.
Yeah.
And it was like a slow decline because throughout season 5, like their storylines just became less and less, and then bye.
Yeah.
All or nothing, baby. And then then they're happy, and then he sees Sue lurking again. She's not allowed on school grounds, as B says.
Oh yeah, she grew her hair, or she has a wig.
Yeah,
now,
she says. Yeah, she's just Jane Lynch again. You know, she's like,
there's such a weird camera angle, like looking up from the ground at will from between her legs.
So weird, betwixt her thighs.
And they,
like her cats.
because she says this school is so easy to break into, which is true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to mention this when when Rachel was like, "Hey, I'll be there opening night for your performance, and I'll pack my purse full of eggs."
Yeah, he's like, I'm never gonna live that down. And I'm like, you're goddamn right you won't. You
Yeah.
threw eggs at her. Your ex-girlfriend.
He'd be egg boy to me. I need to make a social media post of how I would interact with the Glee kids as I was when I was in high school. Not me now, but like what I would think of them. Be like, crack house girl, don't talk to her. This scene. So Sue is like, aren't you gonna thank me? And Will's like, why, you like blew up my car and like I glitter on people. And she like has this elaborate list of reasons of like why she did it, to give them this exact euphoria and trigger these hormones and help blah 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 and sabotage new directions.
The glitter bombs was for cortisone or cortisone?
No, but it's cortisol or
cortisol.
Yeah.
And it takes like 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Cortisol. It takes a couple days to get out of your system, and so I planned it just right so that by the time you stepped on that stage, they got that burst of energy from the cortisol. Geraldo Rivera basically made something in me snap because you guys came to my defense. Yeah. And what else?
That ad hominem attack. And it's like, but I mean, it was about your character. It wasn't about something else. So
yeah, it's just So he's
just kind of like, sure, Jan.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, Jane Lynch. And she's just like, I did all this, you should thank me. And
he just says no.
He's like, well, why did you do it to my van, to my car? And she's like, just for fun, which I thought was the only authentic line she said.
Yeah.
Because like that had no purpose. She literally just wanted to do that for fun.
It's weird
because also a felony. You remember they made a big deal when they slashed the tires?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow, that was so long ago.
Sue again needs to be in jail. She's a menace to society. No one is safe while she's free.
Do you think was this supposed to be like her actually being genuine, or is this her trying to save face?
I think it's her saving
absolutely
face.
have no idea.
I think you could interpret it both ways, but the way I felt was that the Glee writers are trying to create that like this cycle is going to go on endlessly.
Right.
That like Sue and Will are always going to be at war. And that they're always gonna be switching sides, and this is him just not buying her bullshit of, oh, I did this to help you. He's just like, sure.
He sighs when she walks away instead of being like, thank you. Like he could have very clearly like to himself been like, thank you, but he just sighs and he looks satisfied with himself.
And she's like, I'm gonna go to Boca Raton and tan, and I'll be back with more ways to destroy the Glee Club.
She says, I'm gonna brown up. Like, oh boy.
And then, you know, it was crazy because after all these years of Glee booting, I watched the scene where I was siding with Matthew Morrison 100%.
Matthew Morrison's William Schuster.
I was like,
last episode of the story.
And I'm like, wow, he's right.
He is right, because that was bullshit. She didn't do that to help them.
No.
You know, because they didn't have a coach before. So that's
technically the end of season 6.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow. That flew by in a way that like season 5 like dragged, right?
Yeah. It's well, I think there just wasn't a lot of stuff happening, weirdly enough. But then again, it's like they didn't build up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
in season 5,
actually literally shorter. So.
Yeah. And then literally shorter, and so much was devoted to the oldies. Like we're gonna do a Britannia wedding. We're Tina is gonna propose to Mike Chang. Like,
yeah, it's
Quinn getting together with Puck was last season.
Yeah.
Quinn and Tina are gonna help Becky with Daryl.
It's
was wacky, but like
more watchable than 5.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a much better
rough.
Premise of how to do it. Like Rachel runs the Glee Club. I wish they'd leaned into that more because she didn't really run the Glee Club. But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, she was just kind of like, well, we just put her here and then we're gonna have Glee stuff happen around her.
Yeah.
While she figures out what she's gonna do to get back to New York.
Yeah, and have a friends with benefits with Sam, I guess.
Yeah, which is weird.
So here we are. At the end of all things.
Tina time. Is it? Well, no, this can't be the last Tina time. We still got more episodes. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, there's.
I'm not ready for all these finalities. You're saying, you know, that Tricia is literally the last person that we're asking, you know, what's your glurney? And I'm not ready for all of these things. Like, weirdly enough, I was like, I'm so ready for this to be over, but now I'm like, hold on a second, let's take this slow. Anyway, Tina time is not here.
She was seen in some group shots. She would have made those
costumes, though.
She would have. She had one line in the episode we watched on Glee Aggressive. I did like.
You did the Tina time.
Yeah, we didn't do it in the show, but I like heard it. Was like. Mentally, my brain just counts Tina lines now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean,
Tina's at Brown. She's fine.
Tina would have been a better assistant coach or whatever Rachel was supposed to be for this Glee Club than Rachel would have, and she would have actually had an impact on these kids.
Yeah, she would have been like, we need to feature everyone, if not on stage, like at least in rehearsal.
Everyone helps make costumes.
Yeah, she would democratize.
And they would be better for it.
Yeah. So let's talk about MVPs and LVPs.
Oh boy.
Who's your least valuable player this week?
I said whoever dressed Vocal Adrenaline in those shiny shirts. It was a choice. I can't say I agree with it. Because like Sue was.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Sue. She showed people Nazi propaganda.
That's true.
Yeah, that's real bad. I'm also going with Sue. She set Percy's car on fire. She probably is the one who chose the shirts. I mean,
yeah. So I guess we all chose Sue.
Yeah.
Sue, it's funny because even as of like kind of through season 4, we weren't totally sick of her. We're kind of like, it's kind of funny to watch her take down Will, but by this point we're like, we're signing
great.
with Will over Sue. Like that.
Yeah, she's trying to take down Will again. Great. I'm very tired of this.
Yeah.
I was going to say Rachel, I think.
Good-
Just
good
because
pick.
I'm still not like I remember when I was watching it through and her speech, I was not over that speech, just like how self-centered it was.
Yep.
And just I'm glad she can go to New York. That's fine. Don't come back.
Yeah. That's a great take, honestly.
Very when Liz Lemon came back to her high school reunion in 30 Rock, and they're like, how dare you show up here? You were a bully. Yeah. You're run, Joey, run, girl. So MVPs. Tricia, do you know who your most valuable player was?
Most valuable player, I'd probably say honestly, probably like Roderick. I mean, like he stepped up. Like he had a solo. He learned his dance. He did good. What can you ask for in a Glee Club member? Nothing.
Honestly, he was a good friend to Spencer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A better friend to Spencer than Spencer is to him.
Yes, I'm gonna say Roderick.
Absolutely. You know what? I second that. I also wrote Jane for sticking up for the girls, which was very important. Love that. And then Jonathan Groff for just being erotic.
Oh yeah, Jonathan.
Oh yeah.
in some sort of like printed jacket. It was like black on black print, and I was like, "What is this? I love it."
So good.
I'm also going with Roderick. The fact I was actually like appalled that Spencer was gonna try and dance on his foot. That looked gross. Also, did we talk about the scene where he was like he was like, I'm an athlete, I have to be tougher than everyone else? And I was like, oh, gross. Toxic. No. Yeah. So when Roderick was like, I have an idea, let's not hurt you for the rest of your life, that was
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Roderick too. He really, other than Rachel, was the only one that had like a storyline. Like he helped his friend. He did a great performance. 2 shout out. I love a blam unscripted moment. And shout out to Jonathan Groff for fabulous entrance. Yeah, fabulous entrance, fabulous storyline. Like great. So many times characters come back and are like, okay. But this, like, it came back and we're like, yes, he's back.
Like April Rhodes could never.
Yeah.
She could never.
And we love Kristen.
We do. We love Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah, Shelby,
we
again.
We don't love her.
Yeah, we love
Shelby?
Adina, but we don't love Shelby.
Cares? Yeah. But we don't love Goop, but we love Holly Holiday. So it's a little role reversal there. Yeah.
So let's talk about the music. Our songs this week were I went to Laura Dreyfus's page. Yeah, pretty decent. They are Listen to Your Heart, We Built This City, Mickey, Take Me to Church, Chandelier, and Come Sail Away, and Broken Wings.
Okay. Yep.
So Tricia, what was your least favorite song?
I mean, biasly, because I have never heard of Broken Wings like before this ever. I have to say that, but like eliminating that one just because I simply do not know that song. Also, it maybe had 30 seconds of actual saying it. Honestly, Chandelier, it was executed well. However, that song gives me the ick.
Maybe because of the Sia thing that she did later.
And it just whenever I hear it, I get the ick. And that's not Glee's fault. It's not the New Direction's fault. It's not Kitty's fault. It gives me the ick. Because honestly, I felt like all the rest of the songs were good. Like, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of struggled to, because I like Broken Wings as just someone who likes 80s music, but it's not one of my favorite songs. So yeah, I'm going with Broken Wings too. But like, I think everything else was just like, I think everything was fine, which is so rare for this season. So yeah, Broken Wings, LBP music. What's it called? Worst music.
Worst music. Allyssa?
Suddenly forgetting everything about our podcast.
I'm gonna go with We Built the City. That's what it's called. I wasn't a fan. I've never heard the song, but even they did like a large portion of it, I believe, like almost the whole song, and I just didn't like it. I was not into it.
Yeah.
So wait, you've heard Broken Wings?
But not
you've never heard.
this.
That's interesting.
That's
just interesting.
That's also an 80s song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard it. It's very repetitive.
Yes. Because that's what I was gonna say. That's where I was gonna put it, because it's like a TikTok song before TikTok, where it has like a great hook.
Way before
TikTok. And like then it just kind of is like it's just filler. Kind of like I think of that song, but that's my girl. Like that song exists for like a fan edit of someone's favorite female character, but I couldn't tell you the rest of the song.
Couldn't even tell you the song.
If you heard it, you'd be like,
maybe.
Yeah. Tricia, what's your favorite song?
I want to say "Listen to Your Heart" because of Jonathan Groff. Like, it's an obvious pick, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I did like "Come Sail Away" because it's also one of my like. It's such a good song, and it's the last one of like pretty much the season. That's like the last one they're ending on. Has good vibes. Everyone has a little cameo. Love that. So it's between those two, I would say.
Yeah, "Listen to Your Heart." I forgot that it had happened. And then once you said it, I went, yes, that's it. Also, "Take Me to Church." So good. I'm glad that we're getting more Roderick, because I remember like he really hasn't had that much feature.
He had
his
Mustang.
voice. Mustang Sally is kind of.
And then all about that bass.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's definitely between those two songs. Yeah, "Take Me to Church" and
Listen to Your Heart.
Yep, that one. Listen to Your Heart.
It gives me vibes of How Do I Get You Alone and Turn Around Bright Eyes. It has those sort of vibes, and I was like, is Alyssa going to get that mixed up with one of those songs?
No, but I wish, like, the one thing I will say about "Take Me to Church" is I wish they had done more of it, because it's really just little snippets, and that song is so good.
So good.
Like, why did not they do the whole thing?
Yeah, I listen to it on Sundays. It's my church.
I'm going with "Come Sail Away" was so good, and the song has an emotion to it, and I can't exactly describe the feeling, but it does. But I mean, "Listen to Your Heart," I love that song. That song's like my life philosophy. And then you have Jonathan Groff singing it in a dramatic entrance in harmony.
Their harmonies are
jacket.
Great. Oh, the jacket! I know. So erotic. I love him.
It's like we're wet, unlike Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So here we are.
Wow. Season
Tricia,
6 story wrapped up.
Thank you so much for coming. We hope you had fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. I always am down to talk about Glee. As a Glee who isn't? I feel like it's a rare opportunity to talk about Glee and not feel embarrassed about it.
It comes up a lot, though. To be honest, the amount of times I end up talking about Glee is a little frightening.
It's a cultural phenomenon. And like, I said a lot of things about the show over the 3 or 4-ish years, however long we've been doing this podcast. But like this episode, and also rewatching 403, reminding me that like there's also a lot of really positive stuff about the show that I complain about every week. And so like I think there was a lot of good stuff in this episode. I
mean,
it was kind of renewing, actually.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see like how they're gonna flash back to the pilot, and then also, wrap up these stories. And
I think because this was our debate back. I was talking about this on Glee Aggressive. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I was the one who's kind of like, we're doing a Glee podcast. You guys obviously had to agree. Just like like this idea that like I was like, because we had watched Smash, and I was like, that Glee is a good show, and that Smash is bad, and that Glee is like a weird, crazy train wreck disaster, but I would still ultimately consider it a good show. And it's like net effect on society was positive. And it's like, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not 100% sure we would have had gay marriage without Glee.
Because Glee also just brought gay people into people's houses. Yeah. And it made gay representation on TV and film more accessible.
Yeah, more normalized.
And
It's common now.
Which, because, you know, our media really colors the way we think about real issues. And so, yeah, I mean, it is kind of like a weird stretch, but I agree. Like, I think there's definitely merit to that.
Yeah, and wild. So I'm glad we spent this time. And I think also the nostalgia of the trophies, it like wasn't just the nostalgia of Glee, it was a nostalgia of having like watched it all together and done the podcast.
I saw all of those performances. I had opinions about all those performances. Do I remember all of those opinions? No, I do not. But that's okay. I have a podcast. Shout out to I'm Still Standing, which Allyssa and I was like, yeah, it was pretty good when we talked about it with John on Life's But a Song. And then Cullen was like, wow, okay, fucking out me then. Mm-hmm. You guys said it was awful on our own podcast. Like, listen, I can't be expected to read the shit I say.
I absolutely do not. So
yeah.
Well, again, Tricia, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anywhere you would like, any social medias you'd like to plug?
You can follow my Instagram. It's Tricia J. Lee. Tricia spelled Tricia, not like Trisha Paytas. Thank you. Just want to clarify that.
Important clarification right there.
No.
You can follow Gleeboot on Instagram, Twitter, we're still there. Well, it's still there. And TikTok, we are at Gleeboot Pod. And you can also find us on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
You can find me on Instagram at Cullen Ever After.
You can follow me on Instagram at a.m.swearingen.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So a couple quick announcements. We have till the end of the year to vote in the Glee Keys.
We extended the ballot.
Go to our Instagram, click the link
in our bio.
And vote on your opinions. We want to hear them. We're going to try to make this a really special finale. Speaking of which, we have 3 more episodes of Gleeboot. One where we talk about 2009 and what's the last one called? The finale. And then we will do one where we pitch the Gleeboot, you know, what we've been working towards. And we will do one where we do the Glee Keys. So we're going to take not a full holiday break, but a little holiday break. The 2009 and finale one will probably come out sometime during like the Christmas holidays. You know, that time, just because up until then, like work's a little crazy and I have a lot of like prep stuff to do, but I'll have a little bit more time once we get to the holidays. So
yeah.
So please vote in the Glee Keys. See you then for part 1 of our 3-part finale.
Gleeboot is having a 3-part finale.
We deserve it.
We're doing better than Glee is. We have upped it. We deserve it.
Thank you, listeners. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Gleeboot.